Hey everybody, I am on for the midweek message reveal Wednesday, February 21st. I had to think about what month it is. Blah, blah, blah. It has been intense. The state of everyone and the world and all of the things is pretty intense. And that energy is being expressed in lots of ways through the collective. But what's happening now, energetically, really, is that we're in the last stage of the zodiac, right? We've moved into Pisces, and Pisces energy, the two fishes, are the energy of the currents of the underbelly, the unconscious, the primordial depths of our emotional selves, right? Pisces energy goes deep, and it wants to kind of flush out as a water sign, wants to kind of push through, and wants to really kind of, I'm seeing like a tea bag, like you're just being dunked in the funk that is yourself and your past, which is, your present, your future, all of it. Time isn't real, but the perceived patterns and behaviors that we've encountered over the time, up until this moment, has been so much in the forefront within the last, I don't know, I would have to say the last couple months for sure. But it's really going to be kicking off here with Pisces season. And this isn't going to be something that's going to let up right away. And that's not to be like, oh God, I'm going to be stuck in this. Nah, it's really all about your perspective, man. So like you have to think about what it is that you want to do. So you can either lay there and kind of let the funk roll over you and be super emo and, be a real buzzkill to everybody else. Or you could be in a space where you could say, hey, I'm noticing that there are some things that are coming up for me, and they've come up for me many, many times before. And while I'd like things to be different, have I done anything different? Or have I taken a look at how I've been behaving or acting or reacting? And is there anything that I can do to kind of say, hey, me, what's going down? Like, is this the way that we want to proceed? So that Piscean energy, though, also has this imaginative sort of vibe to it, where you can feel kind of nice and detached. And I say nice and detached because it does feel nice to kind of remove yourself, take your brain and kind of throw it somewhere else and just kind of subsist. But that energy feels almost paralyzing to some, especially when we're in a state where we have most of our planets in air signs and water signs. Only the North Node is in Aries right now, which is a fire sign. Not until we move into Aries season next month are we going to really feel that motivational push to get some stuff moving. So if you're feeling like you're stuck and you can't kind of get a fire under your ass moving, you're not the only one. And some of it is because you're meant to be steep in that subconscious self of your feelings and your patterns and your wants and needs and desires, and being in a state of looking back, and there's a lot of grief that's happening now with the state of the world. That's not to say that it will always stay this way, but when there is mass change and lots that's happening in the collective, we as a collective are going to feel it, and it's going to reverberate, and it's going to affect the way that we operate as a human group. And what's most important is to know that the work that you do with yourself, if you feel like you can't do anything else, if you feel like your hands are tied, or you're like, I wish there was something that I could do, I wish there was something that I could, produce, which, because a lot of us were raised to produce, or you're not awesome, you're not cool, you're not doing it, you're not on it if you're not making something happen. If you really feel that way and want to flip that energy, you working on you is like the little pebble in the pond that ripples outward, and other people start to see, hey, what is it that you're doing, and how did you get to be like this, and you're so cool, calm, and collected. Not saying that you work on yourself and you become cool, calm, and collected, but that's a hope, right? But you get to a place where you can exist as your own perfect ripple, and other people want to see what their ripple looks like. And in that, as a member of the collective, of the human race, of the spirit that we are all connected to in this consciousness, we start to heal each other. You heal yourself, you heal everyone in your family line before you and after you. You have the ability to make that change. And I think that that's the lesson here with the Pisces energy that is heavy, and the Aquarian energy that is like, we need to change this. We need to break this shit down. We want to do something different. And it's not going to look like what we have seen before. But what is it going to look like? That how, you're going to have to throw that out the window, because it's not going to work. You need to be in a space where you can say, okay, I trust myself, and I trust my inner guidance, and I trust my higher self, and I trust the universe or God or Jesus or Ganesha or whoever the shit that you want to put your faith in. It's all the same. That energy is what is going to allow you to truly get to a level of self-awareness that is monumental and will grow and show that unconditional love for yourself and for your fellow person. So we also have the full moon in Virgo this weekend. Virgo energy wants to get shit done, wants to get things organized, wants to put things in its place. So if you're feeling like there is something coming and there's some things that you've needed to go through, right? There's things you needed to let go of, or there's things you needed to organize, or there are something that's been nagging you that you've been just kind of putting on the back burner for a while. It might be a good idea to start working on that this weekend with the energy of the full moon. That can kind of help usher along. We also are experiencing a lot of collective grief. And that collective grief is something that we are feeling individually and as a group. But also, there's a lot of themes that are coming up for the personal self. So if you're experiencing that, let yourself sit with it, let yourself feel it, address it, sit with it, talk to it, feel it, and release it. And that's the best thing that you can do with the energy right now. It's actually asking you to do those things. And the cards in the cards as well are around the endings and beginnings, and the turning your face towards the thing that you haven't really been looking at and going, okay, I'm ready now. Because that's when we get to move. When we move into Aries, we're going to have that motivational push, and we're going to see a lot of big changes. Okay, so you hang in there. I know that was a big intro, but I feel like it was important for us to kind of get to a space of, I hear you, I see you, I am you. And yeah, it's been rough. And that doesn't mean that you're not here for it, though. You're here for it. You can do this. All right. Group 1, card 1. Your card is combustion. I know that this looks like a wheel on fire, but I'm telling you, I see a honeycomb. And when we think of the group of the hive mind, right? Something's been going on with you, one where you feel like you've had to appease the masses, and that you've kind of just slotted yourself into a track. And that track, while it is okay, it's not 100% what you want. And you're allowed to want to switch it up. You're also allowed to be a little angry at the fact that you had to kind of cut off your arms and legs to get yourself into the shape to be this perfect person, perfect employee, perfect husband, wife, partner, insert role here. But you can't do it for much longer. And you're in a space where things are going to kind of blow up. And I don't mean blow up in a like, oh my God, scary way, like shit's going to hit the fan. It's more like it's going to continue to keep getting irritating, and you're going to continue to feel that level of frustration until you acknowledge the fact that you've kind of cut yourself off in order to fit into the box that society has asked you to be a part of, or this job has asked you to be a part of, or this relationship has asked you to be a part of. And you've said, okay. And there's some grief there. So think about that when the anger strikes, but also know that the anger that's coming up wants to be acknowledged and felt, and utilize the moon. Please use the moon as a way to kind of release. So if this is new to you, you can go ahead and write down, I release and let go. I release and let go of frustration around this job. I release and let go of the feeling of needing to produce all the time in order to feel worthy, XYZ, whatever it is that you want to work on. And you can just tear it up. You can flush it down the toilet if it's nice, good paper. You could do a burning ritual where you actually burn it. it doesn't really matter. It's more the fact that you are acknowledging to yourself and your higher self in the universe, and you're stating in declaration that you want a change and you want there to be assistance with that change. And you will start to see things move once you've acknowledged those things. All right, 2. End of days. I know these are some seriously dramatic cards, okay? End of days, combustion. I want you to see that this is little you. This is you right now. This is earthen you. There is yourself as the higher self, as part of this, the one who's controlling the avatar, right? The one who's moving you around on the playing field. And this expansion of who you are is connected to the greater expanse of the universe. You have so much coming. You have to close this chapter. And you haven't been able to really kind of close the book. The thing, I'm seeing like a bookmark, I'm seeing like the dog-eared side, I'm seeing this like big book. And it's a book of a chapter of your life of stuff. And you've gotten to a place where this is ending and closing, but you're not 100% closing it yet, and that's okay. So now is this moment where you're kind of coming up, and again, this feeling of grief, this feeling of heaviness, this sort of, I don't have any energy for this, is par for the course. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself fall into it. Take a day off and you hang out in bed and deal with your shit day. Whatever it is that you need to do to make yourself feel it and allow yourself that space to feel safe in that release is going to allow you to move to the next chapter. Okay? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just moving on to another stage. And if you feel like this is the worst thing that could possibly happen and nothing's going to get better, no, you're just closing something so we can open another door, because at this point, the path that you're on requires you to do that. Okay? So it's not that you don't have any options. It's that this thing over here in the wings has been waiting for you, and you can't get to that side of the corridor, the whatever it is, whatever you're envisioning as the place, until you've completed this part. So you're in that completion stage. Just hang in there. All right, and 3. If you chose 3, your card is blessings. Okay. So this is something that you've been working on, 3, since around July, beginning of July. And it's something that you've been wanting to have come to a conclusion. It's something that you've been looking to get a return on investment, or you've been working or toiling against something, and you're supposed to be receiving. And you've kind of had a block around your ability to receive. And I'm actually feeling a lot of tension in my throat. So there's some real emotion that's kind of trapped here. There's a feeling of, is it ever going to happen, and when will I get it? Just know that is coming on the way here. So you are in the place of receiving blessings. But in order for you to truly kind of get to that next step and be open to receive, because you're a little worried about it, you're a little kind of like, I don't know if it's going to happen for me, or I'm worried that I'm going to mess it up, or I'm worried that if I take action on something or express a desire or do something, that it's not going to go like it was going to go if I just would have kept my mouth shut. Speak up about what it is you want. And even if it's not to whom you can, work with, speak out in a sense that the universe will be able to at least hear you say it. And your higher self will hear you say it. Your inner child will hear you say what it is that you want, because your desires are valid and you're allowed to feel what you feel and want what you want. And those blessings will come, especially when you start to take a look at what it is that you already have. So where can you put that gratitude out? When you're feeling a little bit helpless, 3, I think the most important thing to do is to think about what it is that you can show that you already have, like your health, a roof over your head, the clean, the air, the ability to, have access to water, all of these things, because a lot of people don't. And it's those little basic, simple things that I think can kind of change that perspective around feeling that sense of lack. And that scarcity, because when you feel a sense of lack and scarcity, you're basically putting out into the universe that I don't have enough, and all the universe hears is, you don't have enough, and that's not what you want. You want more. and you're allowed to have more, and you're allowed to be a little bit more selfish about what it is that you want. So don't let anybody make you feel like you putting you first is, like a shitty thing, because it's not. It's actually awesome. It's what we should all be doing, because when you prioritize you show that self-love, and that, just similar to what I was talking about with the ripple effect, you are bringing that out into the greater environment, and everybody wants a piece of that. Okay. All right. So those are the messages this week. Would love to hear how this lands for you. So please leave me some feedback below. Would love to work with you. So please check out my website if you would like to work with me. I would love to work with you. I have all kinds of great stuff and offerings there. So check me out. And please, I really appreciate you sharing and making sure that you're subscribed so you can stay up to date and also help me grow. So I just want to say thank you for your support and your love and care. And I feel you. So everyone, go out and buy yourself some chocolate, have some ice cream, take the day off, stay in your pajamas all day. You have my permission. All right. Peace.